basically what I want to do is show the process that I've been using for probably over 10 years to do my research. It's something that I've been honing to make it as easy as possible. I believe to do it as efficiently as possible. And there actually is a lot of steps, but I get a lot done. So we're going to start. So I asked the audience what was a good topic to work on. And I am starting in Google because I want to just get some ideas around the topic that I'm looking at. And so aquatic therapy. And so I'm using a strategy called Google the alphabet. And what I can do here is I start with aquatic therapy and then I hit the space bar and I put an A, and it will bring up a variety of different terms that may be of interest to me. So our topic here is disabilities. We'll talk disability here. So we have aquatic therapy for disabled, right? That is a term that I think is interesting. And what I'll do is I will highlight that term. I won't actually search on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that term and I'm going to go to my spreadsheet, and I have just an Excel spreadsheet, and I paste that term into the spreadsheet. And now I go and it actually selected it for me, and I didn't want to do that. Aquatic exercises for therapy. That is another good one that I can use. And let me go back up to my original term here. But I've selected that. I go into my spreadsheet and I put that in there, right? That's something that could help my research also. And so here I am for special needs. How does aquatic therapy? That's a good question. Right? Let me just grab that question because that also could help with my research. And all right, so aquatic therapy, disability, and then like I said, we can just put an A after it. And now aqua therapy for disabled adults. How much does aqua therapy cost? That's something I can do a B. And this would tell me aqua therapy benefits. That would be a useful term that I can go with. All right. So what I would do is I would Google the alphabet and collect all these terms. I said that I try to do things that are pretty easy for me. And I actually have a tool up here called Keywords Everywhere. And so this is on my Chrome. It's a Chrome extension that I use. So I could go in and Google the alphabet on all these particular terms, or what I can do is I get to a set of terms that I like, and we'll use disability. And over here, I have related keywords. So this is what this Keyword Everywhere does for me. It has exercises, guidelines, techniques, therapy for wheelchair users. And so I can export that. And so now I have those particular terms available to me. And so I can pull those terms, copy them, put them into my bigger worksheet, and I am just collecting terms to help with my research. So that's my step one. So now step two is I take one of these terms and I go further into Google, but I go to Google Scholar. So Google Scholar is my powerhouse. And so I can put in one of those terms and now do a search. And I get a list of research articles that I think would be useful to me that I want to maybe explore, that I will read the heading here or the title of the article. I'll read a little bit, what it says here, and I'll look and I'll say, is that something that I wanted? So aquatherapy and pediatrics, probably not what I want. Benefits of participation in aquatic activities with people with disabilities. Ding, ding, ding. That's an article I definitely want for what I'm doing. Now with Google, Google Scholar, you can restrict this to say, hey, show me anything from 2018 or 2021, and it'll narrow the scope. Right now I have it wide open. I am going to turn off include citations because I don't want that. I have 7,000 articles that I can use. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick and choose and bring those articles into a program called Zotero. So Zotero is a citation management tool. So let me go into Zotero, and this is Zotero. So I have my overall library, and in my library, I have 1,619 different articles or book or references in there because I have been doing this a long time. I have done research papers. So for example, my Ed.D 5240 paper, right? These are articles that I use. Here is another paper. There was an article that we did on FERPA. Here's our references for that. They are all within the library, but then you have special collections. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a new collection called Aquatic Therapy. And so now this is going to be a research paper that I am going to write. So here I have no articles, right? There's nothing in aquatic therapy. So I'm going to minimize this. I definitely want to have Zotero running in the background. Zotero is free. There's a paid version where you can upload research, any PDFs or things like that. I can upload them. And actually, I'm just paying for the storage space. But for here, I don't need to do that. I mean, I already paid for it, but if you were to get it, it costs you nothing. So also, as part of a Zotero, is you have an extension on your toolbar. And so right next to my address bar is I have something that looks like a folder. And if I click on it, it will bring up a window saying, hey, the article's on this page. What do you like? Well, I like this one about benefits of participation in aquatic activities for people with disabilities. There's pediatric disabled children, right? That's potential. Spinal cord injuries, like that. Access, disabilities, therapeutic with muscular dystrophy, aquatic and neurohabilitation, right? So I like those articles. So I have checked those off, the ones that I want, and I select OK. They have now been added to my Zotero. And so I can continue to do the research on that, and I can go to another page. We can go to the next page on this. I can put in another search term, whatever that I want to do, and I can once again hit that little folder, and it says, hey, stroke rehabilitation, muscular dystrophy, disabled children. I like those articles. Click OK. And now I go over to Zotero. They have been added to Zotero. In addition, for some of the articles, they have already pulled down, maybe they haven't in this one, they pulled down the full text PDF. So I can look on that full text PDF, and there's my article, and I'm ready to do the research I need to do with that particular article. So that collects my research. So that is kind of step one on this. Another, while I'm using this, all right, let me show you some things about Zotero while we're here. So I click on this aquatic access for the disabled. It has the information I need from the article. I can go in and add notes. So I can type in notes that I want to. At the bottom, I can add tag, right? So looking at the article, what is this article really about? And I can place a tag in there, and it may be related to another article. So these are things that you should do. Definitely write your notes in there. And there, here's the tags for the article and so forth. For example, my paper here, you can see that I've added notes. So I was looking at this particular article. I have some rough notes that I've added to that particular article, that book actually. And I also have citable notes. So I've gone ahead and already prepared them so I can copy and paste my notes, put them right into an article so I can start working with them. One of the strategies that you may want to consider when you're working on your notes is I use dictation, right? So in Microsoft Word, I can turn on dictate, and now I can just start talking, and it will put down the word dealing with that article. So I could be looking at that article and talking and telling about what I thought was important about that article, what was essential to my research, period. That was kind of a long sentence, period, right? So I've captured my thoughts there, but now I want to add a citation to that. So I'll remove that period. I'll go back to my article here. We were doing aquatic therapy. That was my thought dealing with aquatic access for the disabled. So I can right click on it and create a bibliography item from this. And I'm using APA 7, and it's going to be a citation for now. So I'll copy that to the clipboard. I go back to my article and I paste it. And the citation is now correct. I've put that in there. It's good to go. And I can add more to it and just keep writing. So I'm just gonna go grab some fake text from my Lorem Ipsum, right? So we have something to work with here. I'm gonna copy this. So now I am going to paste my text, and I want to make it look look just like normal here. All right. So now I have some paragraphs of text. So maybe in here on this particular line, I have used another article way down here, right? We're going to use one way down there. Once again, I can right click on it, create a bibliography item, get my citation, copy to the clipboard, and I would just go ahead and paste that there, right? So we now have cross, I'd make sure it's the same format. I can do that later. This one actually was 2 items, so I can select 2 different items here. Whoops, 2 different items. Once again, I can create the bibliography from those items. I want a citation, copy to the clipboard. When I go back in here and paste it, it will paste both of them in the correct format for APA 7. Now, I could switch to MLA and do the same thing. And suppose I go through this document, I write my stuff, I look at my notes, and I capture all this stuff. Then I get down to the last at the end of the document, and I have my reference page. And so let's go ahead and center that, because that's just the right thing to do. Okay. And I want to add references, right? Let's just suppose that I used all these articles. So I will select all the articles. Now, I'm going to say before you do this, it's important to review the info to make sure that it's pretty clean. And so it'll be easy to bring in. And I'm just going to make that assumption that everything's good, that I've done the work there. So I highlight all of them. I right click on it. I say create a bibliography item, but this time I want the bibliography in APA 7. So I've used all those articles. I come in here and there they are, alphabetical. Everything is where it needs to be. Once again, one of the things that you'll have to do is just go verify everything is correct. You may have to go back, like you have the O'Connor here, probably the C for O'Connor, that should be capitalized, right? So you have to double check your work. Don't, rely on it wholesale, but it will do a lot of the work for you. And this is just a wonderful tool that make creating your program or, you do your research that much quicker. So that is, in a nutshell, how I do research. And I use dictation when I write just to capture my ideas. So I don't want to read an article word for word, but I will look at the article. Then also in Zotero, maybe not all these articles have a reference to them. So, let me go look for this. I may have to go in and go check out the library's database to see if I can get the article and download the PDF. But once I have a PDF downloaded, then I can basically right click on this and add an attachment. You can attach a link to a file. So if I want to, I can go in and say I have it in my downloads or somewhere, right? Here's an article we've just drug down, right? So now I have a link to that article. And so when I need it, it brings it right up and I'll be able to read it, capture my research, cite it, and it is just magical. That is a strategy, a method that I have been using for probably 10 years to help me write articles faster. So as a recap, first thing I do, right, is just go generate ideas. So I go to Google and I Google the alphabet. I go in and capture terms that I think are going to be useful to me. I use keywords everywhere to do that. I put those into a spreadsheet and I have generated a spreadsheet. And now I will start going to Google Scholar and searching for those terms and capturing what I like and put that into Zotero. From Zotero, I will go in and read the articles and capture my notes about those articles. Let me show you while I'm talking about that. You can see my dissertation. This is a lot of stuff for my dissertation, but my FERPA paper, for example, we had a variety of notes. So I'm going to take that, and that. There's notes attached to them because I can see this with this one under there. So I'm going to right click on this and generate a report from the items. And so these are the notes that we had captured. And I can just copy that whole thing, Control A, copy it. I can go back to my document, drop it in there. And so now I have notes to work with. I can move things around, get it where I like it. We took some energy energy and put the citations in there. That's up to you, but it's a strategy I recommend. And then, I'll move things around. So probably, this annotated stuff, I probably don't need so much right now, and I just delete it and just leave my notes and move my notes around and then organize them based on the conversation that is happening in the document. Yeah. So then, from there, I grab the citations and references and put them in my document, clean them all up. Dictation is a powerful way to do that. And that is it.